Snooki.
You can share with Brian.
No, don't share it with you. Fortunately, I don't need a microphone.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to Day 2 of Asbury Park Comic Con. I'm Christopher Laudando. And before we start, we just had a special announcement.
Yeah, so I just been informed by the con that we came up a little short on the Brian Johnson appearance fee. So if you guys could we're going to pass it around.
We accept checks as well.
Pass it around the audience, please. Thank you. Please dig deep. We came up quite a bit short.
That 20 must be for Ming. He's got comic book money.
I find it hideous that you have a yellow hat.
Yeah, like freaking Curious George.
One piece.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay.
Get enough laughs, Ming?
Yes.
All right, good.
That's all you know. Thank you.
Okay, so, if optimism was a planet, this man would be from a galaxy far, far away from it. He is the star of Comic Book Men. He is the star of the hit podcast, Tell Him Steve Dave. He's a habitual ball breaker, particularly of Ming, something to me as an honorary, I get abused. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Johnson. This guy can be seen on Instagram taking selfies, drinking coffee, eating pizza, doing headstands all over America. He has more podcast hours logged in than quality time spent with his family. Star of Comic Book Men and I Sell Comics podcast, the mighty Ming Chen. Our next panelist has probably read every comic book ever written. He stars opposite his hetero life mate on the hit podcast I Sell Comics, and he's also a star of Comic Book Men, the great Miceal Zapcic. When the secret stash needs an item authenticated, they call this next guy. If you think your Scooby-Doo lunchbox is worth anything without the original thermos, this man will crush your hopes and dreams on national television. Robert Bruce.
You dick.
I am what I am.
And this man played Dante Hicks. He was also gang raped in a film called Vulgar, which was based on a fantasy of Brian Johnson.
Have you ever heard the phrase "spoiler alert"? You fuck. Wait a minute, that was a film.
It's a documentary, right?
Yeah, based on your dad, right?
No. The joke wasn't meant for you, Brian. We also got to see him in this season's Comic Book Men as the captain of the Clerks Bowling League. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian O'Hara. So I guess I'm going to start off with, I'm going to ask the guys a couple of questions, but really...
No, you're not, because I have an opening statement and a follow-up question. If you listen to the podcast, Tell Him Steve Dave, and you probably should, you know that I hate myself. If you don't listen to it, just looking at me, you can pretty much tell that I hate myself. So this does not come from a place of ego at all. But why, when you have 3 guys that have been on TV for 3 years on a fucking TV show that you're on, would you give them such a shitty panel time? Sunday morning at fucking 10:30? It's absurd. Like, why not Saturday in the middle of the afternoon when it's hopping and things are jumping? Not like when people are still getting out of church and going fucking IHOP and shit. Like, yeah!
Hey, I didn't have anything to do with this.
It's such a weird scheduling time, isn't it?
Who's sitting up here with us, though? I had nothing to do with this. Oh, you know what? This is actually probably Rob Bruce's afternoon, though. That's the only thing that I can think of. At 4:30, when you want to do the panel, he's down at Sizzler getting the early bird special. So, with his AARP card.
It is such an odd choice, isn't it?
Well, at least we filled the room. We still filled the room.
But we could have turned people away and made them feel bad. If it was on a Saturday.
Point taken. Point taken.
Brian Quinn's in the House of Impractical Jokers. I see him right over there.
He's available for pictures after this panel.
Give me a long line.
Will do.
So I wanted to start off with 2014 has been a big year for these guys. We got a show renewal for Comic Book Men. It's also the 20th anniversary of the release of Clerks.
You are like my father.
And they actually gave Rob Bruce his television show, which is...
Yeah, they gave that a television show, folks. Let's hear it!
Hey Rob, is it going to air at 10:30 on Sunday mornings? I hear that's a hot time to schedule a
I'm hoping it'll be 1 a.m.
show. So you can be up to watch it?
He gets up around then to pee anyway, so yeah.
So we have a microphone up front here. If anybody wants to ask any questions of the guys, please do. Don't leave this up.
Great preparation there, Chris. Right to the audience.
You like that? I mean, you didn't want to hear me the whole time? I got a couple talking
Very
points.
energetic.
I know, really.
All right, fuck it. So, all right, I'll start off the first question. So, guys, the season of Comic Book Men, what was, I guess, the most favorite episode that you had, that you enjoyed, I guess?
The bowling.
The bowling one?
One of my favorites. I mean, it's not a biased opinion.
I like the Hulk sprinkler thing. Or not the Hulk.
Mr. T. Mr. T.
The Mr. T water war.
The Mr. T thing, yeah. Mostly because Ming was in the Speedo. But also mostly because I've always wanted to dress like a 1920s bather. And that's very important.
You look good in the stripes.
Yeah, right?
And then the straw hat.
It didn't look slimming though. I've heard stripes, you know, they were the wrong
No,
way.
it definitely wasn't slimming.
Yeah, it's supposed to go the other way.
Rob?
Do you remember there was a season?
Yeah, Rob,
I like the, actually I really dug, yeah, I don't need that. I really liked the Lou Ferrigno episode because I'm a huge Lou Ferrigno fan, and when George Perez came on, I mean, woo, for my buddy here, Mike, I mean, that really touched me here.
You said one, right?
Is that okay?
Yeah, now you just told
we got an hour and a half on phone.
I have to scramble. What else did we do this week? It was not one of our, I was going to say, it wasn't one of our more popular ones, but at least according to Twitter, and we all know how Brian loves Twitter. The Renaissance Fair, we went up there. We went with Muse, and anyone who's never seen Jason Mewes, what the hell are you doing in this panel? Number one.
Really? It wasn't popular? I didn't watch.
A lot of people
I didn't
like-
watch one episode this entire season.
You couldn't stay awake, man.
No, it's not really late. Plus, yeah, I just don't like to watch myself. But I thought the Renaissance Fair was popular. Not the case, huh?
No.
You guys didn't like the Renaissance Fair? Oh, sorry.
So guys doing a seesaw, man.
What did they
Why,
say?
sir? You don't think you'd fit in at the Renaissance Fair?
Oh, I totally fit in.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then what the hell's wrong with you?
What did they say about
More
it?
George Perez.
I'm sorry, what? More George Perez? Dude, he could be the unofficial 6th comic book man. That'd be great. Get rid of him, for God's sake. He's got his own show now, so.
Yeah, did you hear disparaging comments about that episode?
Yeah, there were a lot of people like, it was a weak episode, and I'm like, how the fuck can you say that was a weak episode? I got to sword fight with a chick.
Then with me
And I
later on in
beat
the
her.
hotel room.
I missed that whole last part, and I'm actually gonna completely ignore it, too. Just like I do everyone.
It wasn't weak. I don't know.
No, it was kick-ass. And you rang the bell, man.
Yeah.
And
It was super authentic, just like every episode.
My favorite, there's an episode called USS Ming, where by the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
No. You like that episode? Wow. What a shocker.
You know, the title of the episode had my name in it, and I got to buy something I've wanted for over 30 years. So I know I love that episode. So, all you G.I. Joe fans out there, that was for you.
Don't clap for him. He stole out of the register at the stash. Thief.
All right, so when I was looking at the title of this panel, the Red Bank Mafia, I was like, well, I'm from Staten Island, and when I think of mafia,
You don't think I'm a bunch of pussies, right?
On behalf of all the Italians that ever were and ever will be, I think that they're all offended that we're called the Red Bank Mafia.
well, what is the Red Bank? What is the Red Bank Mafia?
Hey, isn't your wife?
Yes,
Her maiden name is DeMeo, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like one of the most ruthless killers of all time.
Her family.
At least a cousin.
I'm thinking she's direct bloodline, for God's sake. And to be honest with you, I didn't name the panel. I'm certain this guy didn't name the panel. He would have called it the Red Bank Yakuza. So this has got to be the brainchild of the guy directly to my right. Directly to my right. He's the man.
No, I didn't do it.
And who called us the Red Bank Mafia?
I thought it was him.
No, I didn't name this. The only thing I think back in the day when Mallrats came out, I saw the term Jersey Mafia, which they referred to as like you.
Yeah, that was coined by Malcolm Ingram.
Oh.
Malcolm Ingram?
Yeah.
And I think they referred to.
No applause for Malcolm. I like that.
Yeah.
I like the sound of silence.
Man who we don't speak his name with?
And I think they referred to Kevin, you, Walt, Muse, and I think Mosier, right?
I guess, yeah.
As a Red Bank Mafia?
Mm-hmm.
Then what the fuck are we using?
Yeah,
it
so
for?
what?
I have no idea. No, Malcolm called it the Jersey Mafia. But really, he comes from Staten Island, Q's from Staten Island. It's like, that's where like they bury bodies and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Not a Red Bank.
right.
Not unless the townspeople finally catch you with their pitchforks and
Too fast.
Does that answer your question?
I guess.
Was it?
I thought it was.
I don't know whose idea it was to.
Yeah.
I gotta admit that.
Rob, who the hell is running this con?
I do the logistics, so I lay out this convention. If anybody doesn't know, then I actually am one of the promoters of this convention. I hope you enjoy it. It took us 6 months to put it together. We actually, I know Mike was really thrilled about this. We opened an office that is literally 2 doors down from View Askew. So now Mike gets to see me 5-6 times a day as opposed to only 2. And you know, he's open, the back door's always open, and
The back door's always open.
Rebuttal, Brian?
I'll let it lie. People know.
But I did not name the panels, and when I was told I was going to be on a panel, even though I've worked on this for 6 months, I really didn't know I was going to be on a panel, even though I printed the brochures until about 4 days ago. And obviously I
built the hotel.
took great preparation and making sure that we had enough microphones for everybody. So
These tablecloths are really snazzy too. What's that?
Yeah, you spared no expense.
Wait a second, time out. This was supposed to be linen tablecloths.
Plastic?
More vinyl than plastic.
But these were supposed to have linen. I'll put on my list of things to do.
It's like you fucking cut up hefty bags. Lay them over the table.
What you don't know is that you can go to the dollar store and they have an online service.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
can
that.
buy-
Did anyone care about that? Did I go online and buy 500 of these for $100?
Yeah, Rob, did you get these tablecloths at the flea market?
No.
I I feel bad for Rob Bruce's kids because you know they're going to school fashioned and shit. Like, clothes me out of this shit.
The cool parachute pants.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
So as this how this whole weekend's going, is anything that's gone wrong? I was like, I don't know. I didn't do it. It's not my fault.
Of course. But you know what? There's a lot of things that have gone right, and I think the things that have gone right far outweigh the things that go wrong. And we had a big problem with the check-in yesterday, and so that's not my department.
So what he's saying is, if we could pass that hat around again.
You didn't pay enough for your tickets, folks. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
We need linen up here. Next year, it's more money.
No, you know what? There was supposed to be linen here, and I think
They covered the fucking tablecloths. Ask another question.
So Rob, let's talk about your pilot.
I'm under obligation. Okay, let's talk about the
It's
pilot.
all
We shot the
all
pilot. It's in fine edit, and we have working title, and I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you really the concept outside. That it is an ensemble cast, and we're going to go through Philly to New Jersey, and it's got a lot to do with just things.
It's exactly like Friends, right? Like, except with niggas your age. I would watch that show.
It's called Old Schools.
I like the idea when it was going to be you and your family like going around in a caravan, flying like that would have been the best show ever.
Buying two-headed pigs and formaldehyde jars.
Yeah, my wife's
Yeah, your wife like, hey, is that gluten? You know. Get that away from
me. You're a stitch, Brian.
What else, Chris?
Yeah, come on! Get this train moving!
Well, last year, it was like a line, you know.
Well, anybody want to come up and ask questions?
Yeah, please line up right here. Anybody have a question? Line up at the mic here.
Is everybody afraid?
No, it's 10:30 in the morning. They're fucking tired.
And hungover, for God's sake.
Yeah, and the last year was 10:30 on a Saturday. So, I guess.
And what is that vile mix in that jar in front of you, man?
You're in trouble.
Oh, dear God.
Did you fail again?
It's like watered down sriracha
That's pretty good,
sauce.
right?
It's amazing.
Are you doing the cleanse, Ming?
We shoot season 4 in about 3 months. I'm trying to trim down a little bit.
Really? Because you need to lose more weight, right?
Yeah, you know.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Get your finger out of my nose. Ew, that was gross.
All right, I guess you guys have been doing a lot of conventions and meeting a lot of people.
We have.
Who's your favorite? This was a question I wrote like 11 o'clock at night in the dark. Who was your favorite celebrity encounter?
I think recently we went to a con down in Florida, and I saw Aaron Gray, who you know from not Battlestar, but Buck Rogers, Silver Spoons, a whole bunch of other shows.
You gonna lead off with Silver Spoons? What's wrong with you?
Which Schroeder is from Staten Island? Is that the same Silver Spoons we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I saw her at a table, and I went over to, I'd met her before, so I went over to talk to her, and then all of a sudden, I didn't notice, but the guy who she was talking to stood up and was like, hey, hello, my name is David Morrissey, the freaking governor from The Walking Dead, and totally nice Brit guy, like totally the opposite of how he is on the show. Great guy, introduced himself to us, and it was a little jarring. The British accent, no eye patch, no machine gun, no leather jacket, didn't want to stab me in the head.
You know it's not a reality show like Comic Book Man, right? Walking Dead?
I realized
now.
I realized that. I'd never met him before, but I thought it was like just such a cool guy, and he'd seen the commercials from the show, so he knew of it, and that was cool.
Really, going there?
I'm going there.
Stephen Yeun. Ring a bell?
Yes.
You got to switch places with Stephen Yeun.
I did.
You did, actually.
We were at Walker Stalker out in Chicago. It's Walking Dead convention, and they asked him to switch places with Stephen Yeun on a panel that Stephen and Lauren Cohen were doing.
So racist.
he got to switch because they said, you know what would be really funny, Ming? Since you're Asian. I'm staring right at you when I'm saying this. Since you're Asian, why don't you and Steven switch jackets and you can go up on stage? And Ming's like, that's so funny! Said it exactly like that. I was standing right there. That would be hilarious, and they did it. And actually, Ming got to call a bunch of Caucasians racists. And yet, David Morrissey just meeting you for like 30 seconds, shaking your hand and saying, "Who was that wanker?" That tops Stephen Young.
Yeah.
What a dick. This is my hetero life, mate. Can you believe it? I could have chosen that guy. At least he would have kept me on my toes.
Who was yours?
Mine was,
Would've kept you on your
actually,
back, son.
what's
So would have kept you on your back. Legs up in the air over my shoulders. Taking you.
Things looking mighty good now.
And you wonder where he gets the idea for poker.
Actually, I think it was exactly that.
Exactly that.
My favorite celebrity encounter thus far, Adam West. And I'll tell you why, because... Is he here at this particular convention? Then shut the fuck up. So, Ming and I, this was our very first convention about 3 years ago. No one had heard of Comic Book Men. And no one still has, but I'll get to that later. So we're at this convention, we're sandwiched in between Kelly Hu and Lee Merriweather, which is a really nice sandwich to be in. And on the opposite side is Adam West. Now I've heard all these stories about Adam West and how standoffish he is, and they're all true. Every single one of them. But worse than that, it's his manager. Because Ming wanted to get a sound clip for our podcast, I Sell Comics. And so I go up there and I give him his $60 because, you know, we're convention guests as well. So, you know, that courtesy doesn't apply to Adam West. And I said, "Mr. West, it's a pleasure to meet you." Stuck out my hand to shake it, and he said, "No, fist bump."
How?
Boom. And he wouldn't sign the photo that I asked him unless I made it out to somebody. And I'm like, son of a bitch, he's a crotchety old man. I love this guy. And his manager was just a total, he's like, "You gonna stand here all day? Keep the line moving." I'm like, "There's no one behind me, douche." Like, "You can leave now." I'm like, "All right." So I did. But
No sound clip.
no sound clip, because, you know, we were going to put it into a porn that Ming and I are producing. That dude. Rob, how about you? You've met a lot of celebrities in your time.
Norman Reedus. Comic Con. We were getting on stage. We went out to LA. It was
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
That was Michael Rooker.
Oh boy.
Was I there? Michael Rooker.
Were you calling him Norman?
Norman Reedus' brother.
Like, dude, you were awesome with that crossbow, dude. You were amazing.
So that was pretty big, obviously. You know what?
Yeah, quite memorable, Rob.
I'm honored. I get to meet a lot of people, so I you know, and I work with these guys. More importantly.
Tender moment.
Phony son
Why don't you guys
of a
say that?
crap.
Sell out piece of crap.
Hug the audience.
Brian?
Me? I probably should have thought about it while you guys were all saying yours. I don't really care. I don't really care about any celebrities, really.
Well, no, right. How about in general, not just from like the cons, but like through your experience, what was the most memorable, you would say, like famous person that you met? That was cool or not cool?
Cool or not cool?
Yeah.
I don't know. When we were in Orlando, we were going to do we did a panel. It wasn't at 10:30 on a Sunday. It was prime time on a Saturday, back when we had a reputation to maintain. And they had a green room, which it's supposed to, you know, be a place for guests to go and hang out and drink and eat and shit. But they only had they didn't even have hot water, right? They only had
coffee and iced tea.
Yeah,
Coffee and iced tea.
so this is a big con, mega con. They had iced tea and they had coffee, and that was it. And one of the ladies from Walking Dead.
Yeah, Sasha Martin Green.
Yeah, she asked for hot water. So.
Shaniqua, I'm sorry, Shaniqua. She was Sasha on Fuck it, it's 10:30 on a Sunday morning.
Anyway, so after
You try picking up names.
After 2 days, we got tea. But Napoleon Dynamite was there.
Those beats of Napoleon Dynamite.
With his manager lady, and
That'd be John Heder, right?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's right, John Heder. And I like Napoleon Dynamite a lot. I haven't really seen anything he's done since then, so I wanted to ask him some Napoleon Dynamite questions. But I know what he's been in since then, but yeah, he was there shooting a movie where he played like a young Roy Disney, not even Walt Disney. Roy Disney? Yeah, Roy Disney.
Oh, that sucks.
But I
It co-stars Jodie Sweetin. Just to up the Q factor. What do you think?
But I got turned down. I think he didn't know, like I dropped Comic Book Man name, AMC I dropped Kevin's name. That might have been the problem because Kevin has gone on record as saying he doesn't like Napoleon Dynamite. So maybe that's why, but I don't
Doesn't
know.
he have cable?
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, AMC.
I guess, I don't know, I guess getting shot down by Napoleon Dynamite was my favorite interaction so far.
Best con interaction, probably, I was at a horror con out in Pittsburgh. It was a horror hound, and there was a American Werewolf in London reunion. So it was John Landis, David Naughton, and Griffin Dunn. And before the start of the first day, John Landis came over to my table. He was like, I gotta tell you, I love you are hilarious. I love the movies you're in. I'm like, it's John fucking Landis. Thank you, man. And I was ready to go, like, really, what happened to Vic Morrow? Seriously, was it? Like, did you see the head fly? This is what's running through my head, but obviously I'm not saying that. So they were
Little kids too, right?
yeah, kids too. But I was worried about Vic Morrow. So there was a photo op session going on, and I knew the guy who was running it, so I was like, I want to do 2 photos with John when his photo op happens. So we get up there, I do the normal, hey, it's me and John Landis, and then I sat down and said, hey John, can I just throw this by? Can we take a photo where it looks like you're fucking me in the ass? And he's like, absolutely. So I am one of the few people that has a photo op picture of me with like this. As John is behind me going, ugh. And once it got printed out, I brought it over and he was like, where's my $60? So that was my fun con experience. In general, like, oh my God, geeked out moment was the Jay and Silent Bob after party, and Mark Hamill was like, Brian, and I was in the room, or yeah, it was outside, but I was away from the tables, I'm hearing, Brian, and I turn around and I'm like, huh? And I see, Mark Hamill go, Brian. I'm like, literally did the old and it was the whole like, holy shit, Luke Skywalker's calling me over. And his son was a big fan, and that was pretty much a cool.
We have our first question.
Hello, what's your name, sir?
I smell a plant.
I just had a question about Flight 370. 289 people lost their lives in that flight. What are your thoughts on that, please? What do you think of that, Ming?
There are some of my countrymen were
They're all
and they haven't found the plane. I would love. I would love for them to find that flight on some steppe in Kazakhstan. Everybody alive,
Right.
no memory of what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's yeah.
Mike, 289 people died. What do you think?
What happened now?
Rob Bruce, 289 people died while you were making funny books. What do you think?
I believe since they haven't been able to find the jet, that it was either abducted by aliens or flew into the Devil's Triangle, which is in the South China Sea, and hopefully they're living in a parallel universe, very happy, or being eaten by something.
Okay.
Not only that, it wasn't his fault.
Mr. Johnson, all those people dead. What do you
I
think?
find it annoying that we haven't seen one corpse yet.
Yeah.
Like, all I read every day is like, oh, there was a ping. There might have been a ping. And they're not talking about Ming's cousin, they're not talking about Ping Chen. They're talking about from a black house. So I really would like to see some definitive proof that people died.
Okay.
I'm along with Jones on that one, that we've yet to confirm anything. Not at all, just these sounds. And then you hear about that phantom water, that a ping can travel 200 miles from a location.
Your cousin can travel 200 miles without a piece of it.
So until we start pulling up, either the wreckage, the bodies, or it's a shame. It's a horrible feeling for these families not to have any answer whatsoever. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens, how this thing goes. But I was on Rob's side, not the aliens thing, but or rather more Ming's thing, where it was taken somewhere and landed like under the radar somewhere, which would be a really cool documentary if it was all said and done.
Okay. Well, a lot of people died, so thank you.
Well, thank you for confirming it's CNN.
It's a tragedy. Everybody.
Brian Quinn, CNN reporter.
We got another question. Oh, all right, thank you, sir. Red, I had like 2 questions left.
Coming up, my friend.
Could your answer be 45 minutes long? A question be 45 minutes long.
If you feel like explaining it that much.
Go right ahead.
Favorite villain-hero combo? Like, who do you like seeing fight each other?
Ming and Brian.
Rob Bruce and his wife.
Yeah, Rob Bruce and Ming. Rob Bruce and Mike is probably my real life hero villain combo. Who's the hero? Who's the villain, Mike?
Who the fuck do you think?
What makes Rob a villain?
Don't touch that!
What makes Rob a villain?
I think a villain is defined by his arrogance.
Excellent. What are you talking about? He won't take credit for anything or responsibility.
You just defined a villain right there. Perfect.
If I was a villain, and I think, Mike, you're the one who gave me this label, it would be Arcade for Murder World.
Yeah, I think you probably would be.
So I'm very proud of that, and look,
What a
polyester
answer.
pantsuit.
Count Dooku once was a good guy.
So is Darth Vader.
I'm going to tune out right now, folks. So.
Like everyone else. Yeah. The last person just nodded off. Good job. I don't care about this kind of shit.
Why all the antagonism? You've heard it on the podcast. I see it in real life. What is it? Are you two guys just like brothers?
Cousins.
And brothers are you really love each other?
We definitely have.
What's going on here?
I don't think that was the question, and he doesn't care.
You know what I heard? I heard that it was last summer. I think it was last summer. Rob Bruce was making fun of a sports car that Mike would buy in a fantasy world, but wasn't really going to buy, and then Mike got mad at him.
A little bit different than that, but yeah, it's true. No, here's
That's basically it.
It's true. So we're out looking at the showrunner's new car, right? And it's what was it? A Challenger?
It was a Dodge Challenger.
It was a Dodge Challenger.
RT, Mike.
Oh, hey, there he is. Brian Miceal, our showrunner. Thank you very much, Brian. So we're out there looking at
This beautiful car.
a beautiful car, and
His nickname is Betty Page. Thank you very much.
wow, you're not only a geek, a dork as well. I don't know. So I said, hey, Brian, you know what? It's really funny. I went and test drove a Camaro this weekend. And this douche sitting next to me says, this car's better. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It wasn't even about the car. It was
Well,
about...
I think he meant it because
But
Brian's
you need
car
to
was real.
understand. You need to understand.
Very true. But my point being that you were trying to insert your nose where
But that's what I do. I do
Yes.
that all the time.
But Brian didn't appreciate you putting it where you put it.
I agree. But
I don't think it was Brian who did.
And did he apologize, folks? No, because it wasn't his
I'm
fault.
sorry, Michael. All
right, everything's fine now.
Long story short, I like to be opinionated, and I have an opinion over anything. It doesn't make any difference what it is.
If people care, if they've asked.
And sometimes I can actually make up things that sound so true that you'll have to freaking Google it, and I'll go in there and I'll rewrite the Wikipedia so it'll fit my explanation.
So that explains season 3 of Comic Book Men. Ah, Mr. Expert, very nice.
Thank you very much.
All right, doing your job.
Can we have more questions about that flight that crashed?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, did you find a severed head anywhere? Ever?
In the back of my truck?
Oh. I'll talk to you after the
Okay,
back.
next.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Another question.
Come on out, my friend.
you guys doing? I was wondering, on the show,
Comic book man? Everyone's looking at you.
it has to do with comic books. But on Big Bang Theory, when they go into their comic book store, and every piece of merchandise is either DC or something Star Wars related. On your show, I started to notice, like, in the Secret Stash, they have like the
It's all Kevin Smith related.
register, yeah, the register is all like DC stuff. Do you get like the product placement?
Nick Adrian here?
Like sometimes you'll blur things out, and sometimes
Serious.
No, Nick isn't here.
No, we have to get clearance for what we show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Marvel don't play ball.
You could do a transactional Marvel transactional piece, but you can't
When
use.
the customer comes in and they say I have X-Men whatever, and then
I want someone to check that out on Wikipedia. Make sure Rob's right.
I think the thing is, like, if you show it, you have to talk about it, which has always been my fucking style, ladies.
Yeah.
I'll go on for hours until
And
walk away.
DC kind of just said it. You can do whatever you want because they're cool.
I guess, you know.
I know it's The Walking Dead. I mean, I guess that's purposely because I am saying you have a lot of Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, Image is cool.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Chris.
You like that? Thank you.
And also, I had a question. Whenever I watch the show, Mike, you're not like featured as much. Whenever I watch an episode, but, like,
Are you listening, Brian Michelle? Season 4, you got it.
I see less of you on the show, on the episodes that I've seen.
Watch them all.
During this season and last season, but than everyone else.
Did you see the George Perez episode?
No.
Then go watch. You know, before you see the headline, go back and watch the whole season. Because I guarantee you Mike's there.
And Rob's gonna go back and cut the season to make sure that I'm in there more for you. Good man, Rob.
Thank you.
How's it going, guys? First off, I just want to thank you all for Comic Book Men, Clerks, Chuli's over there. Hey, Scott.
Scott Chiappo, Julie's young guy in the house.
I noticed there wasn't any thanks for Volker. What the hell's going on?
I still got to get a copy of that. Are there any for sale at the
You can
con?
stream it, I think, right?
I
I'll walk you to the fucking booth, just stream it. It's so easy now.
I actually have copies
no
up at the
excuses.
table, so if you want to come up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do you have any of those John Landis pictures? Because I'll buy one of those.
Yeah, but John Lance is not playing ball with the clearances. He said it was a one-night